Hello, I'm Christopher Phillips. I'm going to be giving you a tour of the building today here at Holy Trinity. Right now I'm standing in the narthex right outside the sanctuary, and the place I'm standing right now, by and large, won't be part of the renovations. But throughout this tour, I'm going to be taking you to places in the building that will be getting renovated, talking to you about how things are today, how they're going to be different, and the process overall. We'll get into a little bit about the cost, at least in general terms, when it's going to start, and how you can help. As I said, right now we're right outside the sanctuary, so why don't we go in there and I'll tell you what's going to change. All right, we are in the sanctuary now. I'm standing about halfway back among the pews here, and there's a few things that are on the docket, I guess, for updating. The biggest one, or at least maybe what will be the most noticeable one, is the flooring. Right now I'm standing on this center aisle carpet, and I would call this like a terrazzo floor here under the pews. The plan is to put in some kind of more modern plank flooring or tile. I don't know if that's been completely decided, but that it will go under the existing pews and down the center aisle. So this kind of greenish carpet will go, and the floor of the sanctuary will be changed. The changes that we can expect in the chancel area, that area behind the communion rail, I'll talk about next. But right now, as I said, the main sanctuary part is just the flooring that's going to change. The other thing that's up behind me that is in need of some attention is the stained glass window. If you've been in this space, and if you're watching this, you probably have, there's a stained glass window in the back of the sanctuary, and one that looks very much like it in the front of the sanctuary. Some traditional stained glass has lead between the panels. This stained glass has wood in between those panels. And over time, that wood has started to deteriorate due to weather and exposure. And so we're looking at options for how to update, maybe make more energy efficient, and otherwise kind of mitigate the decay that's going on with those windows. So that's another, I guess it won't be obvious from the appearance, but that's another big undertaking that's going to be part of this renovation. Let's take a look at the chancel next. Okay, I'm now at the front of the sanctuary, up behind the altar rail, obviously next to the altar. And again, there are not huge changes in this part of the sanctuary. The flooring, however, is going to be the target for some renovation. These tiles are apparently asbestos, or at least they contain asbestos. So I've been told that we're looking into options to put a new floor over this area that would not necessarily require us to pull up these asbestos tiles. If you've ever had asbestos mitigation or remediation done in your house, you know that can be labor intensive and very expensive. But just putting a new floor over it would be completely acceptable and allow us to fix some of the challenges we're starting to see with these floors. It's cracking in a few places, and the new flooring, my understanding, will extend from where I'm standing all the way back to the very rear of the church, where you see pews, where we've all heard ringers ring bells and the choir sing, right behind where the altar is. Those pews will come out, and some chairs will go in so that space becomes somewhat more flexible, more easily usable by the folks that are ringing the bells. The chairs can be moved around, more chairs for more folks, fewer if that's required. So that space becomes a little more flexible. The carpet that is on the very edges there, probably not really noticeable if you were just sitting in the pews, will also be a target for some of the renovations. So that, I think, covers it, but for maybe some other minor things for the sanctuary. From here, I'm going to move out to where I think will be the most noticeable change in that area. as you leave the sanctuary and go down towards the entrance to the parking lot, or the other way. So let's go over there and take a look. Okay, we are back basically where we started, and we're going to head down this way. I'm going to tell you the things that are going to change, why they're changing, what's coming out, and what will be there in its place. The first thing that let me explain kind of why we're doing this. When you come out of church and everybody comes out, this area here, and it's kind of obvious, I hope so, from the camera, is kind of can be a bottleneck. Folks can kind of, if you want to get into the Fireside Room for coffee or something after worship, and this could just be a place for a lot of traffic. So one of the, I think, most obvious changes to the structure of the building, and part of what we're planning to change for the renovation, is some of those bottleneck points. So this whole railing and steel column, along with this brick column, that's coming out. I've been told by people who know about these things that these are not weight bearing. I would guess they're a vestige of maybe when the building was added onto. I'm not certain, but we can do without these, and getting rid of them will open this whole space up. Come with me a little further, and this staircase, I'll just take a couple steps down here, that goes down to the I don't know what we'd call it, maybe the basement, I suppose, where the preschool is. This staircase is going away, so it will just be covered up, however that happens. And the railing here, and obviously the railing going down, and these actual steps, they'll all come out. So we'll open up room where these stairs are, down in the basement level. That will be more usable space. And because the stairs are gone, this will just be open up. There's more open space. So let's come down a little further. The pews that are here along the wall, my understanding is that those are going to be go. They're going to go. They're going to be going. As I said, the railing is going. The other thing, come around this way if you would. This wall, let's get it in the shot here. This wall that's diagonal, that's intersecting with the wall where the grace banner is, that will continue straight down. So, swing around this way just a second. So, whereas now the Fireside Room extends out, so the Fireside Room is actually behind, part of the Fireside Room is behind this banner, the wall will carry through straight that way, and we'll pick up a lot more hallway space once that change is made. So the stairs are gone, some of the kind of intrusions into the flow of traffic will go, and the Fireside Room will become a little bit smaller, but open up into a far larger and, I think, more welcoming space. The other thing that will be a noticeable change in this space is the carpet is going to be replaced. I don't know what it'll look like, but it will be updated and, of course, new. The ceiling tiles that are, I don't know, they're like 2 feet by 4 feet or something, they're going to be replaced with something more modern. They'll be taken out as part of the demolition process and replaced with something, I think it's a 2x2 tile. I've been told that it's, as I said, more modern. So we can expect to see that as well. So in sum, this whole space opens up, gets a facelift kind of cosmetically, and makes it a much more welcoming and open space. Let's head to the Fireside Room and see what's going to change there. So we're here in the Fireside Room, and a moment ago I was talking about that grace banner and what's behind it. Behind it would be that door. So we would expect this whole, that wall that continues to cut off, I don't know what that is, a couple feet or a few feet of kind of width of this room. That will be the big change here. I'm not exactly sure how these sliding doors will be replaced, or maybe they'll be just moved. But this space will, in large measure, remain about the same. The carpet will change. We're hoping to get some updated rolling chairs. I think these have been around for a while. The ceiling will be replaced to mirror what's going to be in the hallway, those smaller tiles I was talking about. But this space, I think in large part, from what I've heard and seen on the plans, is about to be the same. It will be about the same. One of the changes, kind of back out into the hallway here, one of the changes, however, will be the kitchen. So the kitchen is behind me. It's got that that fabulous orange tabletop, countertop. And that's going to go. I think the folding screen door is going to go, and the kitchen will just get a facelift generally. So as you come up, I mean, to my right here is the main entrance from the parking lot, and you'll come up into, once this space is opened up a little more, a much wider and more welcoming space. The kitchen will get updated. I think there's a hope that we can get some updated coffee makers and kitchen appliances, some things like that. So that's what you can expect in this area. The other thing that is kind of right behind the kitchen, it's not really in the picture here, but are the main bathrooms, men and women's. Those get redone with new facilities, shall we say. We are adding some showers. Since we host Family Promise in the building on a regular basis, we want to add some showers. I can't confess to knowing exactly where those showers are going to go. They may go downstairs, and some of those bathrooms are going to be remodeled down there. But the bathrooms get a new facelift as well. We will be adding a bathroom that can be used by families, or that are it would be gender neutral. So that will be in addition to just the facelift of the bathrooms that are already here. There's some outdoor changes as well. Why don't we take a look at those? Come with me. Okay, I'm standing in a part of the church that a lot of you may not even recognize. It's not a part of the church that gets a lot of traffic. This was the main entrance back when the church was built, and before the new sanctuary was put in some many decades ago. There are some old doors, and I think we're seeing those now, that need to be replaced. They're wood. They've been repaired a number of times, and doing further repairs just doesn't seem to make sense. So part of the renovation will include replacing these doors with doors similar to, or maybe even largely identical to, the ones in the front of the church where we typically come in. Those kind of steel and glass doors. They're in somewhat bad shape on the inside, but their deterioration is far more obvious from the outside. Just doesn't make sense to keep these, and since we're doing such a large remodel project, it doesn't make sense to leave something like this and leave it undone. So this will be included. I'm halfway down a set of stairs here. There's another set of stairs that goes into the basement here, and again, this may not be a place that a lot of you are used to coming, or used to seeing at least. I'm not going to go all the way down because we are keeping the preschool space completely separate, and I don't want to go down there, even though I could put on a mask and everything else. But I can just tell you, the bathrooms down there, and I think I mentioned it a minute ago, the bathrooms down there are going to get redone. Some of the other kind of spaces, the fellowship area where we meet on Wednesday nights is going to get a facelift. So those things are all included in the remodel. There's just a couple more things that I think we can look at from the outside, and then we'll wrap it up from there. Let's take a look outside. So I am outside now. I'm actually standing in the labyrinth, and behind me is the sanctuary, the church building, the part of the church building where we worship. And it's really not obvious. I imagine it's certainly not possible to see on the TV here. But there is some rot. I talked about the rot that's part of the stained glass windows, and there's just some kind of wood rot and some areas around the entire kind of sanctuary building that either need paint or kind of need some wood replaced or patched, and we won't get a shot of what all those areas are, but they really are kind of around this entire kind of area that'll need to be painted. and kind of treated so that all the work we do inside is protected by a well cared for outside. So that is that's about it for the repairs that are going to need to be made. The last thing I have to say, and we'll go back inside for this, is kind of like what the timeline is, what the budget is, and where we're going from here. Let's go inside for that. All right, we're back in the sanctuary, and I think I've shown you everything that is that's scheduled to be, or at least anticipated to be, updated as part of the remodel. There are a couple things that I can't really show you, but do want to tell you about a couple things that are being discussed, or at least thought about. One of them is solar panels. We have a building that would allow us to put solar panels on the building and power the ongoing functions of the building, whatever the electricity is used for. They would not go on the kind of steep sides of the sanctuary, but there is a large area of flat roof that the panels could go on, so we're investigating what that would look like, where they would go, and it would make us a little more environmentally friendly, and of course over time it does pay for itself. So that's something that's being considered. The other thing that came up in a building energy audit some time ago, I don't know exactly how long ago, was our boiler. To be honest, I didn't even know we had a boiler, but it turns out we do, and the useful life of it is maybe another 3 or 4 years, maybe 5. And as with all things that were put in a long time ago, it's not all that efficient. Apparently, boiler technology, like everything else, has improved over time. So we're looking at options to replace the boiler, and the exact cost or scope of that work, I think, is yet to be determined. But it's possible that we would include that in our remodel project. So that is basically, from beginning to end, what we're looking at. You may be asking, I think rightly, when does all this start? How much is it all going to cost? How are we going to pay for it all? And I don't have firm answers to any of those questions, but I'll tell you what I know. We are hoping to get approval as a congregation, vote to approve moving forward with this remodel project in a upcoming congregational meeting. The exact facts and figures, or at least the exact estimates, will be discussed in that meeting. I can tell you that a lot of people have worked very hard to put together our requirements. We got estimates from several construction firms. We had an architect involved, contractors involved. All of that work has been done and has given the folks that are on the building and property team, the folks that are focused on this project specifically, a good idea of how long it'll take and what it's going to cost. So they've checked all those boxes. We have plans, and so if we move forward, I think we'll be able to begin fairly quickly. It's April now. My understanding is that we could be starting in the next couple months, depending on what the contractor's construction schedule looks like. But the hope is to certainly do it this year, get it underway this year, and really complete it this year would be the hope. As to cost, again, I don't have the exact figures, but our treasurer, Dan Lounsbury, has worked with the bank to ensure that we would qualify for a loan that would cover at least a good portion of the work to be done. It would be done under the umbrella of a construction loan, meaning that the cost of construction would be covered by the loan. There are other things that we're hoping to do that aren't in the category of construction. I mentioned new chairs for the Fireside Room, maybe new coffee makers and some things like that. Those aren't part of construction, so those will need to be paid for outside of any loan. But there are 3 ways that we anticipate being able to pay for this project, should it get approved, and I certainly hope it does. We have some money set aside. Some families have already made donations for this project. It's sitting in the bank, and that's available and designated for this purpose. The second, as I mentioned, is a construction loan. The third is giving we've not yet received. Giving that I know the council and church committees Pastor Sonia, all hope that you will consider supporting. We believe that these renovations will make Holy Trinity much more inviting and hospitable. We'll take care of some deferred maintenance items that have been needing done a long time, and will prepare us to continue to outreach to the community, welcome in outside groups, continue to be prepared for all the meetings and exciting things that happen in this building. So as you prayerfully consider this work, this place, and the work that's done through this place, we hope that you'll think about making a donation. You may hear about that more in the future. That third category, the giving yet to be received, would help offset the amount of the loan and help this congregation move into the exciting next phase of exciting things happening in this place. So thanks for coming along with me on this tour. I look forward to seeing you all soon. Peace.